Hardaway chases him, but Ward able to put it down. The Knicks start off with a 6-0 run. Knicks are starting off also, Mike, like they finished here in Orlando on December 30th. After a lackluster first half, they lifted up the defensive effort big time in the second half and won the game that way. Hard Grant hits the Magic on the board. 6-2, Knicks the early lead. Knicks hit their first 3 shots from the field. Houston and Anderson, a good matchup as Charlie Ward puts up the 3. Anderson, the long rebound. Both those players, of course, Houston, since Ewing's been out with the injury, has really picked up his game. And Nick Anderson, who's been pretty much lost the last couple of years, has really not played well. He's had his best stretch in a while. And he is tough. It's a very tough matchup. Cycling. Oh! Does not get the roll. Oakley tips it a couple of times. It goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Orlando ball. Charles Oakley coming off the near triple-double on Tuesday against Charlotte. And a night where the Knicks really needed him, with Larry Johnson and Buck Williams both out with injuries. 2.5 gone by. Knicks lead it 6-2. Hardaway. Anderson. That's the way he's been playing. He's been drilling threes lately as well, making over 42% of them. 6-4. Knicks lead. Oakley wide open. And Charles Oakley makes the magic play. Extra pass. Extra pass always works. Knicks with an 8-4 lead. 4 of the 5 starters already on the board. Tough matchup certainly for Charlie Ward. Anthony Hardaway goes about 6-7. Hardaway, though, not 100%. As he puts up the shot, won't go. The Ward call for the foul. Of course, he had the knee surgery earlier in the year that forced him to miss so many games. Ward's first
number 21, Charlie Ward.
And then in the first game back since the All-Star break, Hardaway injuring his calf. He took a lot of heat in the area, John, and even some of his teammates were not happy. As after he had surgery, he rehabbed back in Houston. He wasn't here in Orlando, did not travel with the team, wasn't at the home games, was back in Houston, stayed away from the team, and that annoyed a lot of people. Well, I'm sure this management, which has a right to be sensitive after committing to a $70 million contract in his last deal, measures all of those things as to what a player's impact can be. And a player of his level of earning and expectation has to do more than just score points. He's got to be a leader, and that's a question mark also with him. Off the court, on the court, you got a lot of responsibilities when you're at that level. Charlie Ward with 6 on the shot clock. Does not get the layup to fall. Backward quick outlet to Hardaway. Hardaway, rifle pass down low. Bo Outlaw kicks it back out. 4 minutes gone by in the first. Knicks lead it 8-6. Good ball movement. Nick Anderson hits his second shot. Game tied at 8. Houston now with Outlaw guarding him on the switch. Shot clock down to 6. Houston on a pull-up. Gets knocked down. Hardaway the rebound and is fouled by Dudley. And Chris Dudley will pick up his first. We mentioned Hardaway was injured the first game back. This against Indiana on Tuesday night. And that's where he came up lame. Had to leave the game because of it. And the Orlando Magic came up lame also with 66-point total. The lowest scoring of the year against Indiana. That injury on Hardaway, a left calf muscle strain. But he's okay, not 100%. Outlaw touch pass, Dudley the foul, count it, and 1 for Ronnie Cycler. And the Magic have their first lead as they're on a 10-2 run. Well, nice pass inside, a touch pass from Outlaw. Cycler makes a very difficult shot. You can see him go up and draw the foul. Cycler was rendered invisible last time here against the Knicks because the starting center that night was Buck Williams, who took all the space away from him. And you alluded to his poor game, Mike, and it certainly was a bad game for Cycli. Cycli, like Hardaway, John, excuse me, he's been bothered by trade rumors. Very sensitive when it comes to that, and they feel it's affected his play. Illegal defense called against the Magic, their first, so a warning, and the Knicks will inbound. In that game on December 30th, Cycli only had 2 points, but he was invisible in the game because Buck Williams gave him no space. And you know Jeff Van Gundy's going to remember that if Cycli gets any kind of momentum here going in the first quarter. Ward with the penetration. Oakley can't handle a pass. It goes out of bounds. And we'll have our first timeout. 6:56 remaining first quarter. Magic on a 9-2 run as the Knicks trail by 3. 11-8, 6:56 remaining in the first. Of course, Hardaway the subject of trade rumors and was bothered by that. General Manager John Gabriel talked about that and how the players have to deal with those type of rumors all the time.
I mean, that is why I'm giving you a lot of no comment answers on speculation of trades. It's a thing that really doesn't serve a lot of purpose to really anyone, because most trades do not happen, so it's not really the most factual news for the fans. And also that you have players with lives, livelihoods, families, and the discussion with them, as it would be for any of you, about pack your bags, you're going to Green Bay, kids out of school, is all very scary. And from that standpoint, because of the volatile nature of trades and because so many of them do not happen, it behooves us not to discuss it and keep it as low profiled as possible. However, when it comes to dealing with a player of the profile of Penny Hardaway, that's often quite difficult to do.
Could not agree with Gabriel more, John, because I think the average fan, as we see Oakley hit the shot, I think the average fan, including us or anyone who's not a professional athlete, doesn't realize how traumatic that can be to think that you're going to be uprooted at any moment. Particularly a guy like Hardaway, who's been thought of really as the junior franchise after Shaquille O'Neal, certainly. When they were teammates, Hardaway was the second person known as the man. Good hustle down low for the Knicks as you see Buck Williams has entered the game. He's missed the past 4 games with the sore left knee. And he was really responsible for the defense on Cycli in the first game between the two. Williams does such a good job fronting Ron Cycli. The officials now discussing how much time on the shot clock. They're going to put 21. Magic will set up the offense. They actually reset the 24 shot clock. Cycli against Buck Williams. And they wave it off. A foul is going to be called against Buck Williams.
Foul number 52, Buck Williams.
You know, general managers go nuts, John, with those trade rumors when they get leaked. Some talk about it a lot more. John Gabriel goes the route of he doesn't want to say a word, and that can be frustrating to the fan and to the media, but for the players' sensitivities, it's probably the right thing to do. John also is very sensitive to that. I think he made that point. Holloway misses the 3. A loose ball foul is going to be called against Orlando. And it goes against Horace Grant, who, as you can see, objects to the call. Horace looks like Horace saw something or felt something that the officials didn't see based on his demonstration. 11-10. Knicks trailing by 1. Johnson double team. Buck Williams the offensive rebound. Ward and Buck Williams jumper. Knicks back up by 1. Just under 5.5 remaining here in the first. Another loud crowd at the O-Rena, one of the loudest places in the league. Hardaway with a move. Ball knocked out of bounds. Knicks will take it. Interesting. It will be interesting to see if Hardaway and the Orlando Magic decide to post up the much shorter Charlie Ward, who's guarding Hardaway, but they're still